So we're still seeing a high percentage of AI implementations fail. And for me, as a consultant, a lot of times it's because they didn't come up with the outcome or the actual impact to the business. And they jump straight to trying to create an agentic AI, an LLM, a Gen AI solution before going through their systems and their data. Because of that high fail rate, how much of that is playing over into adding additional security concerns around the NHI side and the agentic AI side?
So multiple facets here. First of all, there's like the interesting motion that we're seeing from a philosophical perspective, right? That people are still grinding and trying because
Right.
they're pretty loose to competition, right? Which is like
Right.
such an intrinsic like human nature like act. The problem here is that we're creating a lot of mess. We're creating a lot of, let's call it, dirt, right? You created like a lot of accounts, you connected it, it's not working. I'm always asking an organization, are you sure you cleaned it up? And there's a quiet in the room for a few seconds. And then like the first honest person says like, no, we did not. And honestly, we are even scared to tell it to the business because like, don't stop it. It's like right now we're innovating, right? Like we don't want like security. What are you talking about? We need to deploy. So I think there's like a very interesting nuance over there, which we need to address. We need to like very clearly address because the point that something was a failure doesn't mean that like we don't need to clean all the NHIs that have been left after that, right? Because like someone can use that for like the wrong purpose. We just like open up the attack surface or without cleaning it up.
And I think, Rick, there is a phrase we've had with one of our biggest customers. They told us our leadership says, innovate now, secure later, right? But at the same time, they do expect from them to be on top of what's happening. Right? So they're in this middle ground, which is very unfair to be, right, from the organizational perspective. And I think from the product platform perspective, we need to understand that we cannot just speak with them about the end state, right? The target state they need to be in with all the great technology we are building, but it's also how we can be the partner to help them get there, right? Because again, it's always about the business value at the end, right? And through management and security is how we can get them there. So just want to add this topic as well.
No, I think it's great. Let's jump into some shorts, right? Typically 60 seconds or less, 90 seconds, whatever you think works for you guys. I want you guys to have the time. And if we have to turn it into the rest of the podcast, that's great. Danny, I'm going to start with you on this one. If you had to explain an NHI to a CFO in 30 seconds, 60 seconds or less, how would you do it? What's the importance of them knowing it so they can put that in their risk portfolio?
In a very simple way, it's asking them like, you invested in human identities through the years, right? You know this investment. And by the way, dear CFO, you know what is the budget for human identities, right? And we'll stop there for a second and I will ask him like, but hey, what's your organizational focus today? Be out of the company. How do you do that? Adopting agents, adopting cloud. How do you think the agents in cloud are communicating? Through NHIs. How many of those do you have? I'm giving them statistically your organization 50 times more. Does it make sense the spend you have on human identities versus like the non-humans? You have nothing there, by the way. We can stop there basically on that conversation. Was I fair
Love it.
enough?
That was amazing. No, that was perfect. And I love that you like role played with the CFO up in the corner of your room. It was perfect. It was amazing. Amit, I'd love to get your take on how the principle of least privilege for machines can be right sized, the permissions granted appropriately without breaking the agentic pipeline, the automation.